Hey everyone, and welcome back to Blue Mountain Radios. Today we're working on an XPR 4550. Let's get that in focus for you guys. There you go. 4550. The bench test originally showed no volume or no sound coming from the speaker. The volume pot works just fine. It just has no sound coming from the speaker. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug it in. We're going to double check it so I can show you guys that it does have no audio coming out of the speaker. And then we're going to rip it apart and take a look for any damage on the board. First, we get our power cord, plug it in, and then we hit our power button. So as you can see, we have channel 1 in there. And if we go through our menu system here, go into utilities, radio settings, tones and alerts, all tones. If we can turn them off, all tones off. Let's go back to all tone, turn them back on, all tones on. And then go to keypad tones, turn on, and still nothing. So no matter how many, as you can see, our volume is maxed. And I'm hitting buttons and nothing is coming out. All right. So as you can see, there is no audio coming through the speaker. So let's go ahead and shut this down. Powering down. Unplug the power. And then we're going to crack this open. Let's see what's wrong with it. All right, so these screws on the board are a T-funny screw, everything. All right. So we'll take a look at this little black piece right here. And so the black piece actually goes to a screw. So we'll set that aside with the top that we just took off. Just a quick visual inspection. I don't see anything wrong with the top of the board. Here's another little gasket for the screws. I don't see anything visually wrong. So let's start taking this entire board out. So we disconnect the GPS cable. We pull out the rear accessory. We pop off the control head. Pull out the control head flex. Take a quick look at the speaker. It looks good. So we'll set that aside. Everything's connected. This is the option board. So we'll disconnect the option board flex. Set that aside as well. And then we have two big silver anchor points that all you have to do is take a flathead and pull up on them. And they will come off just fine. What I do next is I use this little area to get my fingers underneath and pop it open. If it doesn't come off easily, do not force it because you will rip off this PA right here. All right. You do not want to do that. So we'll take this off. And as you can see, there's this discoloration on the frame. This right here is the audio PA. So something happened to the audio PA. So when we flip this around, we'll see that there's burnt mark and a blown component. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The entire lead is missing from it. So here's your audio PA. As you can see, this entire lead is missing. This one right here is loose. I don't know if you can see it. You can see me push it back. So that one's entirely loose. Come on, focus up. There we go. So this one right here, you can see me push it back and forth. There we go. And then the one here is completely gone. So this is the audio PA. It handles all the audio amplification. I can't speak with braces on. It amplifies the audio, so when it hits the speaker, it has enough power to actually have sound. So what I do is I just rearrange these heat sinks on these MOSFETs here. Hey, look! I found the missing lead. it totally blew off and fell onto a heatsink. So hopefully that didn't rattle around and cause other issues. So what we want to do is get our board situated and held up for us. That way we can remove it, add some new solder to these joints down here, and replace it. So let's get started. Let's turn that like that. So what I like to do is I like to add some flux to these pins, and then I like to add some new solder. So with my tip all nice and heated, I'll come back through and add some new solder to help the desoldering process or the heating and removing of this audio PA a little bit faster. There we go. Get a little bit of solder on there. Now we get our heat gun. I use 750 degrees at 100% airflow. And then we just use some tweezers. And once all the new solder is melted, this should just pop right off. You want to keep your heat gun moving so you don't damage the board and you don't want to overheat one spot. Not yet. It'll take a couple minutes. So once I get it heated up hot enough, I'll be right back. And there you now have it taken off. Now I'll come back with my desoldering gun and clean all this extra solder up that I put on there to help get the unleaded solder melted faster. And let's take a look. Where did I put my pliers? Tweezers, I should say. So you can see there's a big gap. You can see the hole right there. Right there. You can see the big hole just there. Let's see if I can't point to it. I don't mess it up. Right there. So that's where the lead is missing from. And if we take a look at, so this is a TDA 151 chip, and I have a very good place to pull those off. That board set off to the side. We're going to use the CDM. I do believe it's 1250. It is. TUAN. The CDM 1250. It has the same exact PA that we want, which is really nice. Now, if you get into the 5000 series, the XPR, the 5550s, or the XPR 5350s, they are different audio chips. And this is actually a parts board when I dived on a while back that just has too much stuff wrong with it and I don't feel like fixing it. So I'm using it as a part board. Get taken out there. We'll set that off to the side and pull out the accessory. We'll take the collar off. And once again, there's a little hole that I can fit my finger in just to be able to pop it up. And voila, there is the same exact audio PA right there. So, for anyone who's doing this, just know if you have a busted or parts unit, CDM 1250, 750, or 1550, that they use the same audio PA. So, let's get some flux on here. Get some new solder onto it. All right, there we go. So we'll get this up in our board stands here. All right, so 150 degrees, 100% airflow. And we just slowly go back and forth. Okay. So as you can see, let's kind of get a little closer there. There's So as you can see, this is a GDA 1519 as well. There's this one, you can't the 19 because of the damage. So there we go. We'll go ahead, get this one all cleaned up and get it ready to go. All right. So now the with our new PA that we're going to take, we're going to add some flux. We will add some brand new solder to it. You don't need too much, like I put there or there. There we go. Just need enough that it will, and have enough that the PA will sit correctly, drop into place. We're going to set it off to the side here. Line it all up. Bottom side. There we go. Didn't clean up all the pins good enough. All right. Oh, here we go. Now, once you have all the pins lined up, it's just a matter of heating it back up and pushing down on this side where all the silver is to make a good connection. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. All right, and there we go. Everything is solid. We'll go ahead and give it a little brush and clean up that flux. Reposition these thermal pads back to where they should be, which is in the middle of those MOSFETs that they're on. So, take a look. Those connections are all solid. They are covered. The solder, I had enough solder that actually came up over the pin. All right, I went ahead and cleaned this area out so you don't see all the burntness in there. So all we gotta do now is do the opposite of what we did when we took it out. So we slide everything in, reconnect the GPS cable, toss in our accessory port. We take our little hinges here. I don't know what you want to call them, but what they do is they pull the board back towards the back. And if you can see those little gaskets down here, so what it does is, like I was saying, it pulls it that way and helps seal those gaskets. So it's a little bit watertight, but it's not 100% watertight. There's different ratings, which we'll go through at a different date. All right. So now we can go ahead and, if you remember, we had these two gaskets that came off of our screws, and they were both 6 and 7. As you can see, as they fall through. So all we gotta do is just put the gaskets back on. So now we take our flex that connects the option board and connect it into the smaller of the two. And then we take our flex from our control head and put it in the bottom one. Top one is for the option board. So we go ahead and stick that in there. Pin this down. Connect that. This is going to be very loud because we didn't turn the volume down after we messed around with the volume pot. So we'll go ahead and turn this on. You can hear the audio already pop. There you go. With that audio PA replaced, we now have audio. As you can hear, all the buttons now beep. And there you go. We have fixed the no audio out on this XPR 4550. I'm going to get this tested off camera, get it all nice tuned and aligned, and get it listed on my eBay page. If you're interested in this, the link for this item will be in the description below. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and learning how to fix a no audio out on a XPR 4550. If you guys have a radio with an issue and you can't figure it out, go ahead and post it in the comments below. And if I have the same type of radio and I know how to fix it, I will make a video on that for you. So go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good weekend.